Schalke. Oh, they've done it! Steven Terodde, an instant hero! Can you believe it? Plenty attacking! No! The comeback is complete! A stunning second half from Schalke!
Blau und Weiß sein Leben lang. Herzlich willkommen auf SchalkeMerica. We are back, season 6, episode 161. No Jack today. He's a little under the weather. That's kind of why we've been delayed. I'm trying to see if he would get any better, but you know he's pretty sick. So hoping he gets a speedy recovery here, and I hope Schalke has a speedy recovery. I mean, what a weekend! 3-1 loss. Glass half full. We're back in the Bundesliga. That's always good. But 3-1 loss. Not the ideal start for the league. If you're joining us in the chat, tell us where you're listening in from. Appreciate you having us along. But yeah, we're going to be a quick one tonight. We're going to talk more about, we had so many moves that happened in the offseason, so many things going on, new manager, all that stuff. I think I'm going to hold off until Jack gets back so we can really get in there and get in depth about it. We want to get a podcast out, so we're going to do a quick recap of the match against Cologne, look ahead to Gladbach, and try to make this a quick podcast, get us out of here. I mean, we don't want to dwell on the past too long, right? But yeah, 3-1 loss to Cologne, former home of Mark Uth, former player of ours. 3-1 goals in the 49th minute by Kylian, 62nd by Kainz, and in the 80th minute by Ljubicic. Marius Bulter did have a goal in the 76th minute, but all for naught. Going into this game, the early story was no Anthony Modesta in the lineup, right? He's our main striker, and so it should be easy, right? For those who don't know, he's going to our rivals at Dortmund. And so, I mean, this team is still good. If you look at the squad from last year, Cologne did very well last year. They're a top 10 team, and so they're going to be a good challenge for us, right? I think we started this game out very well, and I'm curious what other people think, but first 15 minutes or so, I think we were on the front foot. We had a lot of pressure on there. I wouldn't say we were on the front foot. They had a lot of possession, but we were getting opportunities. We were creating chances, right? We get the game started scoring, or goal scoring started early. 10th minute, it is a corner kick from Thomas Oyan, bounces around the box, comes back out. Salazar drills an amazing shot from top of the box. Beautiful goal. We're all celebrating. Oh, by the way, VAR decides to stick their noses in this, and VAR is going to be a theme in this show. Unfortunately, not for us. They claim, and I put this in quotation, that it's goalie interference. Maya Yoshida, new defender for us, they claim he was in the way of the goalkeeper and he wasn't able to see the ball. Every angle I saw, Maya Yoshida was not in the way. Wasn't offsides either. I think it was a BS call. I'm curious what Jack says. We'll have to wait till he gets back. I'm curious what you think in the chat as well. But I think that was a BS call, a bad goal taken away on Salazar by VAR. And unfortunately, I think that kind of really shot us in the foot, and it was kind of lost all momentum after that. We really didn't create many opportunities in the game after that goal was taken away from us. Looked like all the air was deflated from us. But yeah, goal disallowed then. Look at some of the new guys. I think, the lineup was an interesting lineup, right? I guess we should start off with that. So Schwolow, new goalie. I think it was a fantastic game. I thought overall he had some. I think the second goal was pretty bad, but I mean overall he had some great saves. He had great saves on Dietz, Ljubicic. I think a couple others on maybe Chabot as well, and Kylian as well. I think he was pretty decent. I think he's certainly an upgrade from both Ralph Fährmann and as well as Martin Frazel. But anyway, he's in goal. We've been trying to get him for a couple seasons now, so good to have him back there. We had a back four: Brunner on the right, Yoshida, Kaminsky in the center, and then Thomas Oyan, of course, on the left. 3-man midfield, 3-man attack. So in the midfield, we had new boys: Kraus, Krall with Salazar on the left, and then top you had Drexler on the right, Moore on the Tobias Moore on the left, and then of course not Terodde. I was wondering why he wasn't in the starting lineup. Turns out he had some muscular injuries. He and both Latza both out with injuries in the game. They did come off on the bench, from the bench, I should say. So they're fit enough to be on the bench, but not quite enough to start. Hopefully we see Terodde here very soon in the starting lineup. But new striker, Sebastian Polter, a decent Bundesliga striker. So, decent lineup overall, I would say. And then on the bench, Fairman, Çalhanoğlu, Flick, Terodde we mentioned. New men Flo Mollet from France, Malik Thiaw, Matriciani, Latza, and Bulter. Interesting that Aiden didn't get the nod in this one, and Matriciani did, but I digress. So decent lineup, but I think, Schwolow had a decent game, I think, overall. And though I think after that 15th minute, the possession of the play started going in favor of Cologne heavily. I noted before the red card, which we'll get to in a second, possession was very lopsided towards Cologne. And like I said, it started out that way in the game, but at least we were creating opportunities. After that goal was taken away from us from Salazar, we kind of stopped creating opportunities, which was infuriating. And you knew at some point they were going to get a chance, but we were bending and not breaking. And then 33rd minute, a tackle in the middle of the field. Drexler and Jonas Hector were involved. You look at the replays and you see it's cleats on Hector. Clearly a foul. Should have been a yellow. VAR gets involved. A yellow thing was given. VAR gets involved, tells the referee to take a second look. And what do you go? Another call that goes against Schalke. A straight red for Drexler. I vehemently disagree with this as well. I think, yes, it was a foul. Yes, it was a yellow card. There was no maliceness towards, no maliciousness. Mark Uth said it live on the air. Jonas Hector and the manager for Cologne said the same thing. It was a very, very harsh call. We were struggling as it was leading up to that point, and that red card kind of really broke our backs, unfortunately. Very disappointing in that. Habs, how you doing this evening? Charlie in the house, he says, it was a reminder of our place in the Bundesliga. Yes, we are still up against the Bundesliga officials, VAR in particular, and they obviously wanted to prove how helpless we are against them. 100% agree. 100% agree. And that VAR call against us, against Drexler, just, broke our backs, really. So red card, he's out of the game. We're down to 10 men. Outside of that, there was another call actually later on, which we'll get to. But overall, defensively, outside of that, we were very poor, I thought. I thought the center back combination was very weak. I thought every single set piece in the match, well, Kainz was doing a fantastic job getting the ball into the box, but we weren't marking anyone in the box. I can't remember a single play in the game when they had a set piece that we actually marked somebody well and not clear the ball. It seemed like they had constantly opportunities. Chabot had 2 or 3 great chances from point blank range that he missed. Killian had a bunch of saves, shots that he missed early on. I mean, luckily the defenders were the ones shooting, and it wasn't some of the big boys up top, that were taking the shots, because it could have been really could have been a massacre. But overall, I thought defensively very, very poor. Couldn't guard anybody on set pieces, and we need to correct that going to Gladbach, because Gladbach are pretty good as well. I think the 3 best players in the game were all from Cologne. You got Ljubicic, who I think fantastic, great shots. Kainz, obviously, and Jonas Hector. I thought the Kainz and Hector on the left-hand side were causing a lot of headaches for us. Brunner and company just didn't seem to have an answer for him. Maya Yoshida, had an okay game, I think, had some really good stops, especially against Dietz, did very well. Kaminsky was okay, but again, defensively poor. Lots of lapses in judgment. 50th minute, the other VAR incident, right? The third incident of the match. Ball goes out of bounds. Jonas Hector keeps playing like it's still in. Ball is clearly out of bounds. Play keeps going around, and it leads to a goal. Killian gets the goal in that one, and then made it 1-0. And that really, from there on, it was going to be lights out for us. Another bad call against us by VAR. VAR was terrible in this game. Let's see what Jake has to say here. He goes, I'm going to start the conspiracy theories now. VAR center is located in Cologne, right? It is. And it's like Charlie says, that it seems like calls always go against us. Bundesliga seems to always make these bad calls against us. But what more can you say? It's lots of words. And you don't want to believe into this kind of stuff. And then you watch this, and 3 calls that shouldn't have been goals or gone against us did. And it makes you wonder, right? and so it's upsetting. It's very upsetting. The second goal, again, lapse in judgment, poor defending overall. Schwolow did play poorly on it. It was kind of his fault not getting to the ball, kind of lazy going up for the ball, and nobody was really defending any of the open guys. So poor defending there. And then we did get a goal back, right? So the game kind of changed for our better when Bulter came into the game. Salazar went out, Bulter came in, and Bulter added something. I don't know why he's not starting. I like Tobias Moore. I thought he did some good things, but I mean, Bulter, he comes in and he scores. He seems to always, he either scores or assists. He always does that. We saw this in preseason when he came off from the bench, and maybe they're using him as a super sub. I don't know. I'm curious what Jack thinks. I'm curious what everyone thinks in the chat. But Bulter does what he does, and we started getting a little bit into the game, and we really couldn't create any opportunities. We started seeing a little bit more with Bulter. Bulter has a better runner than Salazar, so he could really go after and press the defense there. But in the 75th minute, we finally got a rare foray into the defensive end or offensive end of our offensive end. We get a set piece out of it, right? We need a set pieces because Thomas Owion is fantastic. Might have been I think second set piece in the game after that goal from Salazar was taken away. Cross comes in. Bulter makes his near post run, scores a goal. How many times did we see this last year? Bulter always makes a near post run and either goes for a shot on goal or flicks it back. This time he put a shot on goal. Wonderfully done by Bulter. I am so happy he scored. I'm wishing that he would get a start in one of these games. I'd like to see him start over Tobias Moore. Drexler, I think, does a really good job on the right-hand side. Does he create offensively? Not necessarily, but the work rate he puts in between him and Salazar, we need that work rate in there. Charlie says, Stevie Wonder could have seen how biased VAR was. Yes, this is true. This is very true. But we get the goal back 2-1. I really didn't have hope that we were going to get back into this, but you never know. I mean, you get that goal, you're like, if we can create another opportunity, we get the chance, right? But Cologne put us out of our misery with that goal by Ljubicic. Again, no one marking him in the middle of that box. Good work by the two Cologne players to kind of get that play to Ljubicic. But 3-1, did not like that game whatsoever. I mean, I'm curious what everyone's thoughts are from the game, from their perspective. I thought, like I said, good start to the game. The VAR really deflated us. The first call against Salazar, and really possession was very lopsided towards Cologne. They're a good team, good passing team. But the Drexler call against us, obviously the Salazar one, you had the call that led to the Killian goal in the 50th minute. All these little plays on top of we couldn't create anything offensively. We were just struggling to create anything. I think Poulter did decent on the hold up, but overall it was eh. But again, we weren't doing anything offensively. So, I mean, you can't really say any of the guys played well. How long is Drax out for? So I heard that originally, this is also pissing me off. Drexler was given a 2-game suspension for his red card. 2 games. I thought Schalke's going to see that and say, no, we're going to appeal it, at least try to get down to 1. Schalke came out and said, we're not fighting this. We're going to accept a 2-game suspension. So he's out for 2 games. So there you go. And I'm not going to, I don't know what went on behind that. I don't know if Schalke looked at it and said, we're not going to win this fight against the Bundesliga. I don't know. But they didn't even bother appealing it. They're just saying, we'll take the 2-game suspension and go and move on. This gives an opportunity for Bulter to get on the pitch as well, right? Bulter can play right or left side without Drexler. I keep saying Drexler. Without Drexler in there, you still need someone who's going to attack the defense. Bulter certainly does that. He creates more offensively than probably Tobias Moore does. I think I'm not too early to judge Tobias Moore, but I think Bulter can do a lot offensively. And if you can get Simeon Torota, if he's healthy enough, or even Bulter, curious to see how their 1-2 is, because I think Bulter plays a good second striker on this team, and especially with guys like Torota or even Poulter. It's a lot of goals can happen. I still hold it hope. It's 1 game. I'm not going to worry about it, but I agree, Charlie. We need Torota back. By the way, Poulter and Bulter on the pitch at the same time, that's going to confuse the heck out of all of us, I think, in this game. Just saying it, it's a tongue twister. Poulter, Bulter. But I digress again. So that's the game. Not that great. 3-1. We lost. Hopefully we get some boys back. Edwin's in the house, says, I was really bugged by the club being so passive. Yes, because there's no intensity on that foul for a 2-match ban. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And so hopefully we do a lot better going to this next game. Next game, for those who don't know, is against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Itakura makes his return. He had an assist in the first game with Gladbach, I should say. And so Gladbach is a perennial top 4 team. They're going to be good. What did we learn from the Hoffenheim match? Hoffenheim made the same mistakes we made against Cologne. Very poor defensively, leaving guys like Plié and Thuram and Hoffmann open in the box, Neuhaus as well. That's not going to fly. We have to do much better defensively. What also didn't work is Hoffenheim got a red card early on in that match. I'm going to say right now, if we get a red card, we're going to lose that game. Granted, Hoffenheim scored their goal first in that game, but then three goals consecutively by Gladbach. One thing I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this, but in the game against Cologne, we were given far too much room to the players like Kainz, Hector, Ljubicic, as well as some of the other guys. Ljubicic can shoot the ball, and we were giving him far too many opportunities to shoot from distance, where he nearly scored on a couple of them. Oh, by the way, Plié from Gladbach can shoot the ball very, very well. I think he was a leading goal scorer last year, and he has just as good a shot, if not better, than Ljubicic. So we need to do a better job marking in the midfield by our midfielders. I thought Král was pretty good in this game. Actually, if I'm going to say one player did well for us, I think it was Král. I'm curious what you guys think about Král. I liked his performance overall. Did he wow you? No, but the work rate was there. He was always around the ball, constantly in the faces of the Cologne players. So I did like that. So he needs to be big in this game. Let's see. It's not just Plié and Thuram. They got Neuhaus and Hoffmann. They're very good shooters as well. They can score from anywhere. Elvedi, remember him? He scored against us a few times in our career. Another guy I saw who looked pretty good is Ben Sebaini. He had, I think, a goal in the game. Very shifty on the ball. Very good. I think he's a fullback, but he gets up on the attack a lot, and someone we have to keep an eye on. I think our wingbacks, guys like Bolter or Moore or whoever's playing at the wings, are going to have to come back and mark this guy, because this guy can really get in the box and he can score some goals. And I think another thing we're going to have to look out for is that Plié to Thuram or Thuram to Plié combination, because they've been there for a while. They know each other very well, and they can score goals. We saw that combination get a couple goals in this game. So it's going to be a difficult game. Charlie says, we played like a team that just got promoted, but the fans see it like we all see it. Yeah, that's true. That is true. We did play like a first division team. The jury is still out on Frank Kramer. Not the greatest of starts. Obviously, the red card didn't help. If we didn't get a red card, we could get a better assessment. I think the DFB Pokal match was nice. 5-0 win there against Bremer. But to be determined. We'll see what his tactics are like against Gladbach. I have to really go back and I'll do this for the next podcast, or maybe even the live stream this weekend. But I'm curious how Kramer lined up against Gladbach last season in the 2 matches. If you know, let me know. But I'm curious how he lines up, because this is going to be interesting. We have to get this tactically right. Defensively, we have to do our job. We cannot leave open guys in the box, because they will score. Midfielders have to come back, block the guys from shooting. You can't let Plié, Hoffmann, Neuhaus shoot from distance, because they can certainly score from there. And then also the wingbacks have to come back. Guys like Ben Sebaini are really good. They get into the box, are offensive-minded, much like Oyan is for us. So it's going to be a tall task for sure. Game is at home. First game back at home in the Bundesliga in a while, obviously. So, yeah, it's exciting stuff. Going to be interesting game for sure. We'll get more words on Terodde if he's going to get the start here. Bolter's going to start. Who's going to get the start? Latza's also get an opportunity to start. I think early prognostications for the lineup had Terodde in there, Bolter, and Latza. But we'll see. These are people just guessing, honestly. So, and then for the thousands of people who watch us on the live stream, we thank you. This past weekend, a lot of people watching the game. We truly appreciate it, honestly. Charlie says, we're 3 points behind first place. Hope we can stay within the top 10. Yeah. 10 of the top. Yeah, that too. It's going to be interesting. I mean, anybody gets within 10 points of Bayern, I think, is an achievement. But yeah, we need to get some wins now, get some points, and stay close and try to get some momentum. I think last year what we benefited from is momentum, especially at the end of the season. During the season, we had some ups, a lot of downs, but we got hot at the end of the season, right? With 6 of the last 7, 7 of the last 8, 8 of the last 9, something crazy like that. And I think if we get good momentum, it could serve us go a long way. We got to stop thinking like a newly promoted team. I'm talking about the club, and get back into the mentality that we're a Bundesliga club, because I think this team is good enough. Looking at this lineup, I'm the jury's still out, obviously, but I think Brunner is decent. I've liked what I've seen from him on the right. Yoshida is very serviceable as a center back. Kaminsky is serviceable as well in the Bundesliga. I mean, I would love to see Malik Thiaw out there. I'd like to see Aiden back from the U23s, but Ojan obviously is great. Salazar is great. Kral, I think, is certainly a Bundesliga player. Kraus, I like what I saw from him. Drexler's good, and more. The jury's still out, but I think I love the hustle he provided. He was involved in some plays. He had a opportunity early on where he shot it just to the right of the post, wide. And Poulter, I think Poulter is a proven Bundesliga scorer. So I'm curious to see how Florent Mollet plays. But yeah, I think this team is certainly capable of getting some wins. And I think finishing, I'm curious how you guys think. I think this team can finish mid-table. I do. And that's not a knock. It's not saying, hey, we suck. No. I think finishing mid-table would be a successful season. The main goal is not to get relegated, but I think this team is good enough to be in the mid-table. Yeah, we'll see. It's a long season ahead. Jake says fans are going to be insane. First home game back in the Bundesliga. Yeah, Nordkurve was fantastic on the road there in Cologne. They're going to be even better at home. I mean, I can't wait for this game. The game is, and I don't have the top of my head. I know it's on Saturday for sure. I think it's 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Let's go here. Thursday, 12:30. Excuse me, 12:30 against Gladbach. So going to be fun. We're going to try to do a live stream. Actually, I'm going to do a live stream. So join us in live stream. Don't watch the game alone. Some of us are, if you're at a bar, go do the bar. I know Schalke Canada have another viewing party. We're going to post it here. Let me see if I can find her here. Give a shout out to Schalke Canada. Great lads there. Obviously, Charlie and the gang do a great job on the Schalke Facebook USA group. But where's my photos here? There we go. Watch party for Toronto watch party against Gladbach is live at the Black Bear Pub at 125 O'Connor Drive. Go there, check it out, hang out with William Glenn and company, and enjoy the game. And if you're not at a bar or something like that, watch the game with us, right? Go up through ups and downs. Hopefully it's many more ups, but we'll see. Gladbach has been a perennial thorn in our sides. They're the Bayern killer. So, yeah. Keeping this short and sweet tonight, I think. Like I said, my co-host Jack is not here. He's under the weather, so please send him your best. Jack, if you're listening, feel better. Get better soon. And then, yeah, we'll catch you definitely on the live stream, and then hopefully Jack is well enough that we get the next podcast on Monday. But again, we'll play it by ear here. So, yeah, if we win, we're definitely going to be playing on Monday. I'll come on by myself if I have to for a Victory Monday podcast. But, yeah, glad to be back in the Bundesliga. Staying optimistic so far. It's early on. VAR was certainly against us. If we can get some calls our way, we have a chance. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your week. Games on Saturday. Let's go. Glück auf.